Welcome to Anywhere Math. I'm Jeff Jacobson, and today we're going to talk about the coordinate plane. Let's get started. Okay, today we're talking about the coordinate plane. Now, before we get to any examples, let's talk about exactly what a coordinate plane is. Well, it's pretty slick. It's formed by number lines. Basically, you have a horizontal number line, which in this case we call an axis, and this one is the x-axis. But then to make a coordinate plane, we take this number line, we copy it, and we make it vertical. Okay, so then we've got another vertical number line, and I'm just going to get that out of the way right now. And same thing, when we go above or when we go up, the values are positive, and when we go down, the values are, again, negative. This vertical number line, that is my y-axis. Okay? This whole thing here is called the coordinate plane. Just two number lines put together. That's basically all it is. Notice there's arrows on all my axes. That means it just goes on in all directions forever. Now, if you notice, this made four little sections, and we call those quadrants. Okay? This right here is quadrant 1, and usually you'll see it oftentimes with a Roman numeral 1. This is quadrant 2. Here you probably could have guessed quadrant 3, 2, 3, and here finally is quadrant 4. And that's how you write the Roman numeral 4. So you'll notice we count the quadrants going counterclockwise, kind of like a big C going counterclockwise. Also, if you look at the word quadrant, you might look at quad and maybe think of like quadrilateral, right? Quadrilateral has 4 sides. Quadrant, there are 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's talk about those quadrants real quick. In the first quadrant, you'll notice that the x-coordinate here is positive, so is the y. This is the only place where both coordinates are always going to be positive. Now over here, quadrant 2, the x-coordinates are going to be negative, but the y are going to be positive. Quadrant 3, both are negative, and quadrant 4, the x is positive, but the y is negative. Now, one other thing, this point right here in the middle has a very special name, and that's called the origin. The origin is at 0, 0. Okay, we need to talk about one more thing before we move on to our first example, and that is, what do we call a point that we see in a coordinate plane? Well, what we do is we use something called an ordered pair. An ordered pair is a way of saying, well, this is what we do on the x-axis, and then this is what we do on the y-axis. That's basically what you're doing. So it always looks like this. It's called an ordered pair because you have a pair of coordinates. You have an x-coordinate. That's what you do on the x-axis. You also have a y-coordinate right after that, and that's what you do on the y-axis. So it's called an ordered pair because it's always in this order. The x always comes first, and then the y. Okay? So, for example, M. If we wanted to know, well, where exactly is M in my coordinate plane? Well, first I find my x-coordinate. What do I do on this x-axis? Well, to get over here, first I got to go from the origin over 3. Right? Kind of, hopefully you guys can see that. So I went 3 over on my x-axis, so that x-coordinate is 3. Okay. Now, how did I get here? What did I do on my y-axis, that vertical that vertical amount? Well, I went up 1, 2, up 2. So that means my y-coordinate is 2. The ordered pair that corresponds with this point M is 3, 2. Let's get to our first example. All right, example 1. What ordered pair corresponds to point T? So if we look at our coordinate plane over here, you can see T, and if you remember the quadrant, T is in the 4th quadrant. Now, to get there, we're always going to have to start at the origin, right? And if I remember an ordered pair, it's going to look like this. I'm going to have parentheses. I'm going to have my x-coordinate first and then my y. I'm starting at the origin. What do I do on the x-axis first? Well, if you look, I need to go 3 units to the right. So my x-coordinate is going to be 3. And then from there, do I go up, positive, or do I go down? Well, to get to t, I need to go down. And I need to go down 3. I need to go down to -3. So -3 then is my y-coordinate. So to get to point T is represented by this ordered pair, 3, -3. Here's some more to try on your own. Okay, example 2. Plot -2, 3, and 0, -3.5 in the coordinate plane and describe their location. So I need to plot them in a coordinate plane. So my first job, make my coordinate plane. I've got my coordinate plane ready. Now let's plot our points. First one, -2, 3. Again, remember, in ordered pair, my x-coordinate comes first and then my y. So -2, I'm going -2 on my x-axis, 2 to the left, and then I'm going 3 up. Going up 3, so 1, 2, 3. I put my point there, okay, and I'm going to label it -2, 3. That's where that is. Let's do the next one. 0, -3.5, so 0 on the x-axis. I'm not going to the right, I'm not going to the left, I'm staying right at the origin. Then I go -3.5 down on my y-axis. So 1, 2, 3.5 would be right in the middle, right there. So that's where my next point is. Again, I'm going to label it by writing the ordered pair. First part's done. I plotted both of my points in the coordinate plane. Now I need to describe their location. So maybe I'll put that up here. -2, 3, is in, if you remember, we have 4 quadrants of the coordinate plane. This is 1, this is 2, quadrant 2. So -2, 3 is in, quadrant 2, and 0, -3.5. Now this is a little tricky. It's not in quadrant 3, it's not in quadrant 4, it's not in any quadrant. Where is it? Well, it's on the y-axis. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say. -2, 3 is in quadrant 2, and 0, -3 is on the y-axis. So that's how I describe their location. Here's some more to try on your own. Well, hopefully now you know a little bit about the basics of a coordinate plane. As always, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe.